Hello my lovelies, welcome to the Goddess Enchantments channel. My name is Claire and today we're going to be doing a review and walkthrough of the Herbal Astrology Oracle. One I've been really looking forward to doing, and I sneak peeked you guys in shorts and a lot of you have been asking when is it coming, so here it is. But before we get to all of that, if you are new here, then welcome. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell before you leave. I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up, and definitely leave a comment down below and say hi. I try to respond to everyone's comments where I can. If you are a regular subscriber, then welcome back and thank you for following my channel. So here we have a wonderful 55 card deck that comes with a guidebook. It is published by Ayales. It is by Adriana. I cannot pronounce that last name. I'm not going to butcher it. You guys know how bad I can butcher names at times. And the artwork is by Josephine Klerks, who I've been following for a very long time. So I already know I love her art. So I was super duper excited when they announced this deck was coming. So it's in the type of box you would expect from Hay House, a smaller size single tuck box, very, very solid to keep your deck in. This is the back here, so I'll just read you this little bit. You are the medicine. Open an ancient portal to discover the powerful connection between the healing wisdom of plants and their astrological rulers with this unique 55 card oracle deck and guidebook. Each richly illustrated card depicts a sacred plant ally and its planetary correspondences, while the guidebook illuminates the traditional medicinal applications, ceremonial uses, spiritual messages, animal guides, and symbolic meanings associated with these important herbs, trees, flowers, and mushrooms. So already just from reading that, I find that super exciting. Through our online holistic academy, I teach green witchery. It is one of my favorite courses to teach. We have several of them now that are available self-study. They are our most purchased. It is a part of my own practice. So I do collect these types of decks, anything that has plant allies in it. But they're often a little lacking with, you know, your normal everything you expect. Rose, thyme, sage. So let's have a look at this one and you might find this a little bit different. So, okay, inside your box we have that same message. You are the medicine, and a beautiful illustration in the lid there. We have our book, which we will get to in a moment. We have our cards, which look like this. So on the back here we have a gorgeous illustration that's repeating all the way around. So let's go through these cards, shall we? So number one, calendula. So in her cards, all of these are quite muted colors, but it's kind of like an oxymoron because they're strangely colourful at the same time. So this is very muted, but there's also a real brightness coming from the beautiful oranges, the golds, the yellows that are in here. On the cards, they all have the name of the plant that we are working with, and they have a keyword to do with that plant, as well as a number that corresponds to your book. Okay. St. John's wort, rosemary, blue lotus, a real favorite of mine. As someone who works with Egyptian energy and medicine, this is a staple in our home. So that's number 5. Just look how in-depth this imagery really is. If you are an intuitive reader, you are going to find a lot within these cards. Sage. Oh my gosh. Some of these herbs as we go through and plant medicines, I will not be able to read out loud. I mean, I don't read them all to you guys anyway, because we'd be here for absolutely ever. But YouTube doesn't like certain words, let's say. Beautiful mugwort. Just look at that imagery. In fact, let's have a closer look to this one. This is one of my favorite cards too. So look along the top here at the symbology we've got going on. And then look at the depth of the image. So really stunning imagery. Damiana, Rose, Motherwort. Again, another beautiful card there. Really representative of the herbs. As someone who is trained as a herbalist, who works with herbs magically and medicinally, just truly magical. And it's important to really look out because the symbols, the astrological symbols, are within the cards. So you're going to have a lot here, even if you never want to pick the book up. If you are truly intuitive, you don't want to learn more about the plants from the book, although we'll get to that. There's lots of info in there. Lion's mane. So now we're into the world of mushrooms, which really excited me because so many of these herb decks are literally just herbs, and the very basic ones at that, but we are branching out here. Tulsi, a favorite herb of mine again. Nettle. You cannot beat some of these herbs. Many of them have animal guides or allies in. Beautiful sacred tobacco there. Look at that one. Magical. Another mushroom, tree. So you can see this deck's really, it's branching us out. It's taking us into all different areas of plant medicine. Another favorite there. Comfrey, arnica. Can't mention that one on here. Cacao. I mean, just look at this imagery. Look at that for ginseng. And the keywords, the magician. You've got your symbols at the top. Let's have a closer look at this one. Truly beautiful cards. And you can see what I mean. Although the cards are quite muted in color and they're not that super shiny card stock, there is a lot of color in there. There's a brightness coming from within, but it's kept very earthy, which I feel is very much in line with the plant medicine aspect of these cards. Look at that one. Favorite for mine in tea. Mandrake. Oh, look there. It's Goddess Hathor. Cover. Another one that you don't see in a lot of decks. Same here. Beautiful dragon's blood. So here we've got some resin energy coming in. Lemon balm. That's a really wonderful herb to be working with this time of year. Dandelion. Ashwagandha. And lastly, Palo Santo. So that is our cards. Let's have a look at this Palo Santo card. They truly are beautiful. Now, the card stock themselves is actually quite, good card stock. It's not super, super thick to where you can't shuffle it, and it's not thin where it's going to damage easily or bend if you accidentally have a misshuffle, for example. So a really nice card stock, gorgeous imagery. I love the back of the cards as well. So let's have a look at what the book brings to the table when working with this deck. So here's your guidebook, your pretty standard guidebook when you are getting a Hay House deck, nice and thick, paper back and front. So as we go inside, all the cards, like I mentioned, are numbered. They're also sectioned out in here as well. So you can see herbs of the sun, herbs of the moon, herbs of Venus. So that's another way you can look cards up, look plants up. So if you're not using them necessarily for readings, but perhaps magical workings or to learn about plants, maybe you're trying to match it to something in your astrological chart, something that's going on astrologically with the moon, then you can really come in here and have a look. So you have all of that. There's your introduction, as always. There's a little bit about what we were chatting about, poisonous and other types of plants, sacred space, and basically how to work with the oracle. You have some spreads in here with some really nice details about how to break the spreads down. There's actually a lot more here than in most books that you get with cards. More spreads. This is a fabulous one. And then we go into the meanings of the cards. So when it gets to your meanings, you have the name and the keyword, which is what's on your actual card. Then you have your Latin name, which if you are interested in herbalism on any level, it's really good to learn those proper names. You have an upright, not meaning necessarily, but keywords for an upright card, and they also give reversed if you read reversed cards. And then the astrological ruler, which is the sun, and obviously this is in the herbs of the sun section, so it's sectioned that way, but you're also reminded, so you don't have to keep looking that up if you don't want to. Then we have the history of the plant itself and guidance. So as always, I will read you one of these descriptions. We might as well start with calendula, as that is where we are. So purity. So upright, innocence, childlike, joy, humility, purity, new beginnings, trusting in life, vitality, reversed, broken innocence, lack mindset, inability to access manifestation, resistance to new beginnings, and as we mentioned, ruler sun. Historically, calendula was known as poor man's saffron, as it was used to add colour and flavour to foods in place of the more expensive spice. Calendula petals are also added to salads and used as a dye for fabric and hair, also in our rituals. From infusions to extracts to ointments, folk medicine healers in Europe prepared a wide array of healing remedies and foods with calendula. Its petals were used to induce menstrual flow, produce sweat during fevers. Oof, it always gives me the quivers. I do not like talking about fevers. And cure jaundice. 19th, Claire. What is wrong with my words today, guys? I tell you, I don't even know. It's the heat. You know how I deal with summer if you've been here any length of time. 19th century physicians used calendula to treat viruses, stomach ulcers, liver issues, and skin infections. Traditionally, because of its astringent and anti-inflammatory powers, it was also used externally to treat burns, bruises, and wounds, and to help stop bleeding. Now, ironically, if you're in our goddess circle, upcoming month of July, we are going to be working all green magic. We're going to be making salves together, and calendula will be featuring. This would be a great deck for anyone in our goddess circle to support our July work. If you want more information on that, I'll try and remember to put a link in the little box down below. Guidance. Calendula resembles the sun, a radiant, bright yellow or orange flower. It grows easily and spreads its joyful self across gardens, symbolizing the gesture of universal abundance. Solar herbs are those that neutralize poison and air in the recuperation of vital forces. Calendula's gentle and abundant power reminds us of the realms of light. To be allowed entry within these angelic realms requires childlike innocence and humility. Don't allow pain from the past to disable your ability to dream of a new life. Calendula represents the pure impulse to create, vitality and creativity needed to step into a new journey. The radiance of Calendula is a superconductor. Be very aware and selective with your intentions when using her energy within a ritual, as she greatly amplifies your intentions, and this is very true. Now, I have, as you guys know, I don't really pick up books a lot, but because it is herbs, I've gone through and I've read most of this book. It is really, really good if you want to learn more about plant allies, herbal healing, if you want to add herbs into your magical practice, ritual practice. The cards can expand into those practices and not just be a divination deck. You can use them in your healing work, healing practice. If you are a trained healer and you work with clients, you could certainly bring this deck in. So there's a wide array of uses for the deck itself. Now, for me, this deck brings something new to the table, which, you know, doesn't happen a lot when it comes to these herb decks. As I mentioned, they can be quite basic, not very extensive in the herbs that you get. And in here we have herbs, we have mushrooms, I mean, we have some resins. It really does spread out, and it goes into other more in-depth areas of spiritual practice through herbs as well. So if you're interested in that, this is a great starting place. So for me, I can't find fault with this deck. I absolutely love it. And you know, that's high praise coming from me, because I usually will say, you know, I think this deck is best for these people, but these people might not like it because of this. I don't see, if you love herbs and working with herbs, if you want to expand your healing practice, if you want to bring that into divination and ritual, as I said, I just can't find fault. So I highly recommend this deck. You can purchase it off Amazon and lots of other bookstores and places online, but it is definitely Claire recommended and has quickly become one of my favorite decks to work with in all of my healing work. And as I mentioned, I will be working with it all through July with our Goddess Circle and in my own personal practice as I do our Goddess Circle work too. So that is it from me, my lovelies. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Are you going to be purchasing this deck? What do you think about the art and the inclusion of mushrooms and more unusual plants into it? Do you already have this deck? How do you use it? Share it down below, because everyone can learn from everyone else and you might pick up a tip or two. So that's it from me. Blessed be.